All right, so we're coming out in the garden on a cold January day, trying to figure out what maintenance we can do to get the garden ready for spring. Just get that little bit of spring fever going toward the, right there in the middle. And it's a little early to be doing some of our seeding, and except for a few things that take 12 to 14 weeks and that kind of thing. But we can go ahead and cut back some butterfly bushes, and we have the whole collection of the Butterfly Candy Butterfly Bush series. This is Little Raspberry. It's definitely a little bit more vigorous than the rest. You can see as it finished off the season last year. And I've got the other 4 varieties, and I think there's 1 or 2 more coming this year to this collection. But you can see all of those are only 1.5 feet tall, and we really didn't do any pruning on them last summer. We were out of town a lot, so I didn't. A lot of times I'll let the butterfly bushes come back from our winter pruning, flower heavily, and then I'll give them a bit of a haircut, in the middle of the summer and kind of reset them. And that's true with our larger growing butterfly bushes here, but these just stay so uniform all season. And continue to bloom heavily all season. I really never need to come around and do that. So this was an entire season of growth without any pruning done to them. The purpose of cutting back a butterfly bush like this is that all the flowers occur on the newest growth. And so, if I leave it like this, it does 2 things. Number one, it's got to get bigger, right, to flower. And number 2, they kind of have a bit of a weak wood to them. And the breeding has been such that they're trying to get more, get the leaf internodes a little closer together to keep the plant a little more compact, and you get a lot of branching. And the more branching we have on something that kind of has a little bit of weak wood, because it's fast growing things tend to have a little bit weaker wood. That combination, if I let this continue to get bigger, of having weak wood and having a lot of material, will allow something like ice or wind or snow or something like that to ultimately break it apart and crack it open and do damage to it. So we go ahead and cut them down in the wintertime. These are dwarf butterfly bushes. We've got a butterfly bush out front that's literally 10 feet tall. That one I'll cut down typically to about 24 inches, something like that. These I can take down to probably 6 inches in height. I'll probably end up somewhere 6 to 8 inches, something like that. What I want to do, if Steph can come down in here, is using some sharp pruners. I want to stay above some growth. So I want to see, I've got growth down here at the bottom. You can see along the stems where all the growth is going to come next year. I can make the decision on this, to go down, to someplace like this and, make a good clean cut and leave growth right below that spot. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here to where they're single branched. And by that, I mean, I'm cutting below where I cut them last year. Last year, you can see where I cut it, right there. And you see where all the branching happened from that cut last year. I'm actually going to go below that cut this year and just make sure I'm cleaning them up extremely well this year. If you end up, when you cut stuff like this, you end up with more and more and more and more branching. Okay, and so at some point you probably have to come down in here and decide that too many things are crossing, and you can go ahead and take some of them literally completely to the ground and just kind of eliminate them from the story. But this again, this kind of looks mean. Typically we'll do this, I shoot things on this YouTube channel a little bit earlier than I probably would do it if I was just didn't have a YouTube channel, just so I can show it off. Typically we would do this more toward end of February, something like that, right about the time the new growth is just about to start coming on them. But I'm not going to hurt it. These aren't hollow stems. You can see these are solid stems. The hollow stem stuff is the stuff I worry about doing too early, because the water can get down in them and cause some problems. Make sure your tool's sharp. That's the main thing here. While you're in here, you're going to find some dead stems, some old ones where you cut them back, but they didn't come back last year. Those, we probably want to go ahead and clean them up all the way to the ground. If I wasn't running my mouth, this would have been over in seconds. This is a pretty quick job ultimately, but I went lower this year on it. But any of these dead stems like this, you can go ahead and clean up You know, these are pieces that just didn't come back out from my pruning last year. A lot of them will just kind of pop off pretty easily like that. All the rest of this seems to be alive. And there you go. One cut back little raspberry butterfly candy butterfly bush. We have a lot of these butterfly candy butterfly bushes over here and other pollinator plants over here. Got all of our herbs, got our vegetable garden here. We've got dahlias on the back side of it. We've got salvia back there. We have a lot of pollinator things all really close together right here, because we find that the more reasons they have to come to your garden, the more likely they are to visit your vegetable garden and ultimately get all your vegetables pollinated as well. This really works well together. So, you know, these are basically food for butterflies and other things that visit, bees and moths and all kinds of things that visit them. And then it's important to also have the host plants in your garden as well for those different species of butterflies. I got fennel directly behind me as an example of that. We have butterfly weed, we have native shrubs and all kinds of things that are host plants for these pollinators as well. So, you know, that's that combo of having food for them and also the thing that they need to complete their life cycle as well. So I got maybe 5 or 6 more of them over here. I'm doing the exact same thing. This is little coconut, the white one, and it stays ultimately, you know, when we got them all, didn't know the sizes, how vigorous each of them would be. Little coconut's one of the showiest ones, and it stays the most compact overall. This one has this little low doming habit. Ends up planted in the back, because again, sometimes you're buying something and they're all dwarf butterfly bushes, and turns out the one I put in the very back is the shortest one. So I may ultimately pop this one out of the ground and move it up toward the front. This one, I left that one maybe about 12 inches tall from the ground level on the raspberry. This one I can take down to about 6 inches. But I'm just going to go ahead and clean the rest of them up here. All in all, that took like 4 minutes to cut back 9 butterfly bushes. I just got the piles can go to to our cold compost. We just pile things up and let them break down, and then we can reuse them here in the garden. We leave our leaves here in the garden, and we'll ultimately just mulch over the top of them. This would also be an opportunity if you wanted to clean their bed thoroughly and you really wanted to make it neat and orderly and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I could get in here now and really clean this up. It's an opportunity to look for weeds and things that were hidden in your beds all season long, you know, and get those out, and then go ahead and put some sort of mulch cap down in the bed at that time. And this is probably, depends on where you are. It's just right when you start to see new growth on them is the best time to cut them back, because you can see where that new growth is coming on the stem. You can cut just above that new growth at whatever height you're cutting them down to. And that way you'll get less dead material above, you know, where the living part of this plant is. So as an example, you know, where this growth is, we've gotten cold again, so it's knocking some of this back, but we had some 70-degree days and they started growing, and you can see where that growth is. I can really get in here and fine tune this, right, and really cut it very close, and really cut it very close to that growth to really have them cleaned up the best, you know, and that will, you know, ultimately help with any of that little dead material that I found after I cut the thing back. I'm just not thinking about it that much. These are such tough ornamental plants that a few less detailed cuts aren't ultimately going to matter all that much on them. But if you are a really detailed person, you can get in there and just make sharp cuts right above where that growth is initiating down in the bottom of the plant. usually they'll wake up from the ground up. And that's true with a lot of things because the ground's gonna be warmer first, you know, than the air temperature typically. And so slowly but surely it's gonna wake up from the base. As soon as you start to see any of that, you can get in and cut them back. We got a lot of work to do out here. My fence, I need to redo my rabbit fence around my vegetable garden, and we've got a bunch of plants stored in the vegetable garden right here that are gonna have to go, that are gonna have to find new homes and all that. But this is one of those projects you can get on, is doing a little bit of this cleanup at this point. And again, quick and easy work, and this will just regenerate. And I didn't prune this. That little raspberry butterfly bush, all of them actually, but that thing, I did not prune it the entire season last year, and it stayed in full bloom pretty much, or near full bloom pretty much the entire season. So thank you guys so much for following along.